Hi, I'm Jim Rapoza, Senior Research Analyst with the Aberdeen Group. With me today is Mike Mitsch from NEC. We're here today to talk about server virtualization, the many benefits that businesses can get from it, and how maybe some organizations aren't getting everything out of virtual machines and server virtualization that they could be. Now, server virtualization has been around for a while now. It doesn't really seem like a new technology, but the server virtualization of today is quite different from what it used to be even 5, 6, 7 years ago. New technologies like cloud, like software-defined networks, changed how virtualization work. They've brought benefits, they brought new challenges, but overall, virtualization is an emerging technology that is constantly new. Interestingly, when you look at Aberdeen's research, we find that virtualization is fairly ubiquitous. 63% of all businesses have a server virtualization program in place. 100% of all large enterprises do. So businesses are definitely doing it, but it's interesting to see where they're doing virtualization. A lot of the focus is in the tier 2, less business critical applications, whether those are web-based applications, like business apps, collaboration, those type of applications. And you're seeing lower, not zero, but lower levels of implementation when it comes to the business critical core tier 1 applications, things like SAP, things like business critical databases. And interestingly, the reasoning behind that doesn't tend to be technological. To a certain degree, it might even be FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt. The businesses are afraid of running these core apps on a virtual machine. They're afraid about performance. They're afraid about reliability. We'll talk about whether those fears are founded or not. But first, I want to talk a little bit about these challenges. I know, Mike, you talk to NEC customers a lot. What are some of the things that they're facing that are making them hesitant to deploy virtualization for these core applications?
It's a great question, Jim. Yeah, what we're seeing in the industry is that with a long history of TPC benchmarks, we've run mission-critical databases natively on our large systems, large multi-scale processor systems, large memory machines for over a decade. We've had a long history of doing TPC top-in benchmarks. Those customers have never virtualized. Right. The benchmarks have never been virtualized. They've always been run natively on top of the platforms. With the event of a couple of different new technologies that are coming out in the marketplace today, we do see the movement towards virtualization because of the operational benefits. However, those benefits can't be realized unless some of the technology issues, such as the ability to predict the I/O, right? Software-defined networking allows that to basically change that in terms of virtualization. Also, the ability to keep the machine running through hardware failures. When you have a machine that has terabytes of memory in it, there's going to be issues associated with some of the silicon at some point in time. Being able to adapt through those failures, be able to work through those failures so that you can predictively move virtual machines without interruption of service. That type of technology is really, really important for someone that's been running a mission-critical application in a database or a line of business application to put it on top of a virtualization platform.
Great, you bring up SDN, and it's a great point you talk about. You get into that whole area of virtualized data centers, or the software-defined data center. And it's a great point too about that. When you get into cloud environments, when you get into environments where you may be leveraging SDN technology, you get all these benefits, but there is an overhead element to it as well. And definitely, I think as you said, these fears about performance issues, about reliability. I know our own research shows that when you run applications in a virtual environment, as long as you do it properly, you get a lot of the benefits. You actually get a performance benefit. You definitely get a reliability and high availability benefit. But the properly is sort of the key point. And you want to be doing it right. You don't want to be using that spare blade server from your back closet. You want to have a good platform, a good infrastructure in place to virtualize these core applications. I know Intel is about to release a new technology, a quad CPU technology for big high availability servers. NEC's involved in that. Can you talk a little bit about that, Mike, about some of these new server technologies we're seeing?
Sure, Jim. You're right. The technology limitations in terms of being able to have a machine that's going to be very stable, right? Very important element. Intel's new introduction of their E7 version 2 processor family, which incorporates what we call the machine check architecture, is something that is very important to the customer base because it allows the hypervisor, the virtualization level, to operate through hardware failures. Right. That's extremely important. When you have a machine that has has hundreds of virtualized servers or platforms or a mission critical database running on it, that in the event that you lose that virtualization platform, the period of time that it takes to restore is critical, right? And it also creates a lot of operational procedural issues that become much more complex. So obviously having a platform in place that is not that blade server that's sitting over in the corner, but a platform in place that you can consolidate hundreds of virtual machines onto, as well as mission critical applications, and rest assured that that platform is going to operate through potential hardware failures is really a critical element along those lines. Furthermore, the ability to go ahead at the SLA level to be able to predict the I/O, right? When you're running in a virtualized environment with hundreds of machines or even a small number of machines, such as a database, being able through the platform to predict the I/O capability is very important. Software-defined networking with virtualization platform server technology combined for the first time allows a database to assure that it's got the latency, the bandwidth for that virtual machine that's associated with the storage to support the transaction database. That's something that's new and is really just starting to evolve. So we see with our customer base the adoption of more robust Intel server technology that allows for continuous operation, combined with the ability to predict the I/O at the network layer externally and internally from a single control plane. Those two key technologies for the first time are really starting to drive the industry to the point of saying, I'm going to deploy my mission critical apps on top of this type of a platform.
Great. I mean, it's a really good point. And obviously, when you're doing this right, it's not only a matter of being able to virtualize these core applications, but really take advantage of new technologies like private cloud, like hybrid cloud, and like software-defined networking. So definitely there's a lot of benefits from doing virtualization and doing it right. I want to thank you guys for watching today. For more information, you can read about SDN, about server virtualization, about all these technologies we talked about in our research at Aberdeen.com. And Mike, I know NEC has an informational page as well.
Yes, absolutely. At www.necam.com/virtualization, as well as necam.com/CX server. We've got a whole realm of white papers that explain the value of virtualizing on top of a platform that has SDN enabled, as well as the new technologies made available from Intel, such as the enhanced machine check architecture.
Great.
Jim, thank you.
All right, thank you, Mike, and thanks for watching.